Hey guys, I'm Sarah from Who I Am Among the Pages, and if you're new here, thank you so much for deciding to stop by. I hope you stick around, and if you're not, thank you for sticking around. So today, this is the first video, like sit down, big girl video that I have filmed in a while. So we are going to do a classic. We are going to do my May 2021 TBR. So I've been in school, it's been in the middle of the semester, and I've pretty much had a semester-long reading slump. It happened to me last fall for a while, and then this spring it really has been rough. I've only read a couple books, really like four. From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which it's been long enough ago now that I don't really think I'll talk about a whole lot in a whole video, but I did not like it at all. Then I read Crave by Tracy Wolff, which I will talk about. That was a very good book. I liked that a lot. The Shining by the King himself. And then finally, the book I just finished was one by one of my professors, actually. It is Purgatory by Jeff Mann. And let me get it real quick. It's right behind me. I loved this. It's available on Amazon, and I know it's available through another site, but I cannot remember for the life of me what site it is. But definitely pick this up. It's so good. It takes place during the Civil War, the American Civil War, and your main character is Ian, and he is a Confederate soldier from West Virginia, because in case you didn't know, part of West Virginia did fight with the Confederacy. It was sort of by location, and I'm sorry if you can hear my air conditioner. I am going to try to do something about that, but I'm gonna die if I don't have it. So anyway, our main character is Ian. He's very soft-spoken, very literate, very gentleman, and he meets Drew, who becomes a prisoner of his uncle, who is Sarge, the head of their unit, and they get to know each other, and they very much fall in love. This is a wonderful piece of LGBTQ fiction, written by a person in the community himself. So I think that's something we don't really see a whole lot, because I know like one of the most prominent pieces of LGBTQ fiction is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, and I know it tends to be written, like Rainbow Rowell wrote like Carry On. A lot of it does tend to be written by straight white women. This is not the case. It is very good. It captures, if you're a historical fiction buff, it captures the horror of the war that I don't think a lot of people tend to really focus on. Like, I mean, it was horrific, and this book does not shy away from that. It is definitely gory. I mean, it is this American Civil War, and this author does not shy away from that fact of what really happened. There is some very explicit content sexually in this book, so if you're sensitive to that, then definitely be aware that is a major theme in the book, is sexuality and sex in general. But I still really recommend this book, because not only is it really great, the author that wrote it is just amazing. Like, I wish everybody got to come to Virginia Tech and take a class with Jeff Mann. It is that amazing. It means a lot to me because he is also an Appalachian author, and definitely is proud of that and focuses on that. And I mean, I am too. I'm from Appalachia. So definitely pick this up. I read this. I will do a full video on it because I'm so obsessed. And I actually am going to get to meet with him sometime in the next month or so. You know, my classes were all online because of COVID. But hopefully in the next month or so, I'm meeting him for coffee, and he is going to give me a copy of the second book in the series, Salvation. It is just a duology for now. So I'll get to read that and do a review of it, and I might see if he'd be willing to do an author interview. I'm sure he would be willing to do it. Just if you all would be interested in that, let me know. So yeah, I'm gonna put this aside for now and get into my May 2021 TBR, because we are 5 minutes in and I have not touched it yet. So the next book I want to read after I finish the one I'm working on right now, which is The Outsider. I think it's just called The Outsider by Stephen King. But the next book I want to get into, because I have been focusing on like some pretty dense subjects recently, going from The Shining to Purgatory to The Outsider. I want to dive into, I think that the book is actually called The Duke and I by Julia Quinn. I know it is the basis for Bridgerton, and I think this is just like the series name. But yeah, I know it's a romantic, it's a romance, it's very fluffy. I believe it's a Regency romance, and it's very Jane Austen-esque. And Pride and Prejudice was probably my favorite book that I read throughout all of school. For any class, it was my favorite book. I loved it. I've loved Jane Austen since then, and I'm very excited to get into this because it's definitely a major change of pace for me too. I've been reading a lot of very heavy books, and I don't doubt that there might be some pretty hard-hitting societal commentary in this, because Jane Austen's books, although indirectly did this, there was a lot of commentary on like the social politics of the day, I guess you would say it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this because I think it should be an easy read, very light, very fluffy, and I'm just getting into my new job, which is a little daunting, so it's nice to have a book to just kind of ease yourself out of like the real world with. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. After The Duke and I need to figure out a better way other than reaching down and getting this. I am getting back into the horror swing of things with Rose Madder by Stephen King. I know this is a pretty heavy story. It involves a woman that has, I believe this is the one that involves a woman that has been abused, and something about like she flips out and kills her husband. I'm not entirely sure. I know I've read a synopsis of this before, but I don't really remember what this one was about exactly. I got this in the lot of Stephen King books that I bought from eBay, so it wasn't the reason I bought it, but I am looking forward to reading this. And if anybody does know more about Rose Madder, please let me know, because I am interested. But unfortunately, this copy just just has the big Stephen King face, so there's not even a synopsis on the back. But yeah, I know it is a dark subject, and I think it is more of his like psychological horror rather than like the monster is gonna get you horror, if that makes sense. After that, I'm staying in Stephen King verse and reading Pet Sematary by Stephen King. I've read most of his classics. I've read The Shining and Salem's Lot, Christine, and there's another one I'm thinking of, but I can't put my finger on it right now. I've read Finders Keepers, which is part of the Bill Hodges trilogy, but I didn't know that at the time. And now I'm reading The Outsider, which apparently ties into the Bill Hodges trilogy. I didn't know. Like, I need to do more reading about how his books connect, because I really want to get into the Dark Tower series behind me right there. But I know that does very much all connect with each other, of course, but then into his universe. So I don't think I really need to talk about this too much. This is a classic. Movies have been made and remade pretty recently. I think I was in high school, when the new movie for this came out. But basically, you know, this family moves into this really pretty home. There's a pet cemetery in the backyard, and it's a very sweet, bittersweet thing, because it's somewhere that the town's kids have been bringing pets that have been lost for a long time, and it's a very emotional place, if that makes sense. But somehow we end up finding out that things that get buried there, or I think there's like a burial ground, like an Indian burial ground, things that get buried there don't stay dead. I know this is an exploration of grief and everything to do with that. Like I said, I know it's going to be very hard-hitting. It's going to be very difficult to read, and I avoided this for the longest time because of Pet. I didn't know anything about it. I avoided things about it because I thought it had to do with animals, and that is one thing I just don't like in horror. I don't like when it involves animals. Kids, sometimes I don't mind it. Like The Shining, I feel horrible for Danny Torrance, but he wasn't the freak thing that everybody was, you know, scared of. I just don't like seeing kids and animals being taken advantage of, and I was afraid that this was going to have something to do with like killing pets. Obviously I think it has something to do with it, but I don't think that that's the story itself. That is the main reason though why we'll never read Cujo, because I just don't like it when it has to do with animals. Like, that's just a step too far. No thank you. Like, creepy child is one thing. Animal that has been, I think he has rape. I think Cujo has rabies. I think that's what the actual thing is. But he's obviously an animal. If they have rabies, is suffering, and I don't think that that's something we should be writing about and turning into a sensational book. It's just my opinion. Take it with grain of salt. Everybody's different. Obviously it's a very well loved book, but that's my position on it. The last book then I want to get to this month is a chonky boy, and that is A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J Maas. I have read this before. I had this on Kindle when I had a Kindle that was attached to my mom's Amazon account because I was a kid. Well, not a kid, but it was before I had a job, so it was before I could like have a credit card to tie to an Amazon account, if that makes sense. So my mom just put my Amazon gift cards on her account, and I used them. Anyway, though, I did get this in paperback finally. Back, I think this was like December, not January. It would have been like November or December. It was before Black Friday. I know that much. But I think this is a gorgeous copy. I really love the new covers that they did for her books, because to me, I watch a lot of Ink Masters. This through here, like the knife and like the rose and whatever this doodle thing is, I think that's supposed to be a rose there. It reminds me of like old school tattoo, especially how it's like stippled for shadows and everything. It's not like filled in with a gradient. So I'm really excited to read this because I did finish what was that, A Court of Mist and Fury? Yeah. It's on the shelf, like, right there. I did finish that in February and said, I'm going to read a Sarah J Maas book every month until I can read the new one, because that was coming out in February. And it didn't happen. I got into a major reading slump. It's been a rough semester. But I'm hoping to get back on the horse and going to read this, and then A Court of Frost and... What is that? A Court of Frost and Starlight. I don't know why I always forget that one. I'm hoping like just maybe if I have a chance to squeeze this in that one in at the end of the month, because I know it's basically a novella that got published on its own for some reason. But yeah, so that's where I'm at, and hopefully I will move forward and be able to get to A Court of Silver Flames within the next month or so. I'm really bad, like I guess I didn't have to reread the series, but I read them as they were coming out originally. And so it's been a while since I had read the first one and then, the second one, especially the first one. So I just wanted to have like that refreshed so I could fully appreciate A Court of Silver Flames. I don't know why I always stumble over the names of her books. But yeah, so that's my TBR for this month. I would wrap up April, what I read, but it's pretty straightforward. I read The Shining and Purgatory. I started The Outsider like the last day of April, so there's really no point in me wrapping up a month where nothing really happened. Damn air conditioner is cutting on again. So hopefully I'm going to get back into making videos more regularly. I know I say that all the time, I think go on like these long hiatuses, but I'm really trying to move forward and be more consistent and more mature when it comes to things. So hopefully that will fall into place. But yeah, you'll see this today, May 3rd, and you'll also see my third writing vlog. That went pretty well too. Other than that, not a whole lot to talk about. I'm starting my new job, which I can do a little bit of, a video, talk a little bit about. I'm a metadata assistant at the Virginia Tech Libraries. I'm writing. I'm trying to finish the semester, which is a little crazy because now I'm a senior in college, which It feels crazy to say. I only have one more year left before I'm done with my undergrad. But October, I'm applying to grad school and will be hopefully getting my master's degree in English education and then going into the teaching world. Which, by the way, if anybody does want to be an English teacher, Virginia Tech does have an excellent program for it, because not only does the undergraduate English program have an option to go into an education focus, but there's awesome professors. I love this school. But also, they then offer a 1-year master's degree if you've done your undergrad at Virginia Tech. So I'm not saying you should do it, but I'm saying you should consider doing it. I know the tuition's high. We have our share of problems like any other school, but it is definitely something to consider. And I've been very happy in the program. And I say it's been a rough semester. It's been a rough semester largely because it's just, schoolwork sucks sometimes, and online school really sucks. But yeah, definitely something to consider, you guys that are in the same boat that I was. But yeah, I'm rambling on. This video is now 16 minutes long, and it was really only going to be 10. So I will let you guys go. If you watched this far, I am really amazed and thankful. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, and thank you so much for watching. As always, I'll see you next time.